Hey everyone, we're going to test lather today. We're going to test lather and how much clay is too much and why you might not want to add too much clay or why you might want to add too much clay and how to do it. So, here we go. Read the little notes I put at the top. I will be telling you each base and each essential oil and each type of clay and that I've used in these. It looks like there are 8 soaps to test, sorta, but there's really 7. One is just kind of a an experiment thing I was doing, and I'll explain a little bit about that in a moment, but I am going in order from light to dark so you can kind of keep an eye on what the water looks like, as one of the reasons people will tell you not to add too much clay, or let me just say, not more than a teaspoon per pound. That is the recommended amount. And so, I mean, that's typically the recommended amount for all additives, but it also depends on your soap base because some soaps can take more additives than others. Um, I am giving a couple of little pointers here on just getting a good lather because some people have not grown up using bar soap and may not know. I know it seems a little silly to say you have to add water, but if you're getting a lather that's just kind of there and maybe just feels like lotion, it might be the soap and it might be that you just don't have enough water. So I always get the lather going and then add a little bit of water, and it really does bring out the suds. I have to say this soap base is amazing. The coconut milk detergent free was fantastic, as was the the lavender or, well, light purple Brazilian clay. This one is a little bit scrubby, but barely. You can really barely feel that anything is there, but it is quite exfoliating and has a nice foamy lather. Um, you see, I added quite a bit, and there are some chunks at the bottom. They don't do anything at all. They don't hurt you. They don't. It's not coming out in big clumps on me. It's still staying as part of the soap, and it's not overly exfoliating because, like I said, you can barely feel that they're there. You almost have to think about it really hard to know um, if you're even feeling anything. Quite a foamy lather, as with many of these clay soaps. Um, Makes a great shaving lather because it gets so foamy. And when you get a good bubbly lather going, usually if it's a good stable lather, like these all are, you can work it a little more and it will become a little foamier and thicker and it will maintain that stability. Those bubbles aren't just going to pop on you and disappear very quickly as you are shaving or what have you. Makes a great lather for that, and is great on your skin too. It pulls out, does all the things it's supposed to do, but very thoroughly cleans your skin. Um, we're talking a little bit. Oh, I'm dropping that bar because I want you to see it did fully set up. When I was cutting that one, it was very gelatinous, which is why I was calling it Velveeta. When you look at the color as well, the combination of the color and texture was just, I couldn't think of anything but Velveeta. Um, Quite a cleansing clay there. It is also mildly exfoliating, but not overly scratchy or anything. It's not like using apricot seed powder or something that you're adding for a real uh, obvious physical exfoliation. But yes, it does exfoliate quite well. Boy, were my hands clean after this video. Clean and quite exfoliated. They were shiny. But they didn't hurt. They weren't irritated in any way, shape, or form. They were just a little pruny, as you'll see at the end. I mean, what's what good is doing a lather test if you don't end up with prune fingers, right? Um, so I'm showing you the lathers on some of these. We're talking about why you might not want to add too much clay, and one reason people will say is that um, color. You will have, colored suds, which some people don't like the idea of. They're afraid they're going to stain things. And yet you can with some things. The biggest thing that's going to stain, if you add too much in a soap that's going to actually stain your tub. We'll talk about stains in a second. Is oh, this little guy. This was just that was the experiment, and that thin piece just hadn't set up yet, which is strange. I think I just kept it in a Ziploc baggie so it didn't really dry out. Um, anyway, you do have to let clay soap set longer. You have to. They just need more setup time, more kind of a curing time, because it is all curing is. It's not saponification, so you're not doing cold process soap. This is melt and pour soap, but it does need to dry out a little bit because clay makes your soap take longer to set up, and it needs to dry a little bit. And I think part of that is because clay holds moisture. So as you're making the soap, normally it might some of the moisture that might dry even as you're cutting them up, or that it's gonna kind of hang on to it for a little bit. I found some of mine did sweat and some of mine did not. I think that is more related to the amount of glycerin that I used to um, to put to disperse the clays in the soaps. And that is something you will have to test for yourself and see what works with your particular soap base. Um, Even if they sweat, if I wiped it off and went on and they were plenty dry, and I let them air dry, spritzed them with 91% rubbing alcohol, and that helps it to dry out as well. Having a fan on them, and they will set up quite hard. That's why I dropped that one. Like I said, it was really kind of gooey. Not gooey, that's not the right word. It was not quite set up when I was cutting them, which I don't recommend. But it made a very nice hard bar. If you have a soap that sets up kind of soft because of the base, consider adding clay. That will help it to become a harder bar. That's one of the benefits. Um, I'm also trying to show color that, like I said, people are afraid they're going to stain their tubs. The First of all, a stain is something you cannot get out, or really takes an extraordinary amount of work to get out. That's what a stain is. Some people will call a stain something that they have to wash, or something that they might have to mildly do a little, rub a little bit, and make a tiny bit of effort in it, and that's not what a stain is. Um, Second of all, most of the stains that come from things like clays, and let's say people say micas can stain their tub, which I've not experienced. What is actually happening is it might stain any scratches you have in your tub. It might get into, if you have porous areas that are, you've had some scratches in your acrylic tub or your porcelain tub, it might could get into the more porous areas like that and stain it. The other thing is, if you see a residue, if you see a pink residue from using your soap that is kind of an all over pink residue, that's it's sticking to your soap scum. You just need to do a thorough cleaning, and you don't want to leave it there. If you see a pink hue in your tub, clean the soap scum off before or after. It's fine, just clean it off, because if it's held there by the soap scum, it's there for longer, and there's where it might cause a stain, or at least a great deal more difficulty in cleaning it. So clean it right away, or don't let it sit for 2 weeks and then complain that your soap is staining your tub. My little 2 cents in there. I believe, I'm not positive on this, but I'm pretty sure adding, which has nothing to do with clay, but as far as staining goes, too much turmeric, um, which a lot of people like to use in soap. I've used it in soap as a colorant before, and if you add too much, you can certainly stain things. At least I believe so. Haven't done any long-term experiments on it, but that's what I have heard. Um, I'm showing the lather with these uh, for many reasons, but that last one you noticed was really pale pink, just a little bit. If I were a kid, when I was a kid, I would have loved that. Um, and if you properly store your soap on a soap lift, on a draining soap dish, not in running water, you're not allowing your shower to run over your soap, which is gonna ruin your soap anyway. But then it might have it dripping down and sitting on your acrylic or porcelain tub, and there's where you might also get a stain if that, but there you're ruining your tub and you're ruining your soap. Um, Someday I'll do a video on how to use soap because people, um, you'd think people know how to use soap by now, but it's not always true. And soaps are a little bit different. When you buy a soap from the store, its stability is a little bit different, and that's due to the enormous amount of chemicals that is typically added to it. So there's that. When you're using a more natural soap, whether it's cold processed or glycerin or hot processed, um, which are, melt and pour soaps are glycerin soap, which actually is a form of hot process soap, but it's a little bit different in the ingredients, so they call it glycerin soap. It's you have to take care of them. And if you're buying a handcrafted soap from someone or you're selling a handcrafted soap, you should, maybe give some care instructions. Um, but you want to, always recommend a soap lift or a draining soap dish because you don't want it sitting in water. It's just going to melt away and get gross, and you don't want that. And if it's in running water, it may be taking some of your colorants down the side of the tub in the same place over and over again, which might, if it's an activated charcoal soap, it might just clean that area really well and it'll remove, because that will remove soap scum quite well. Just a little pointer there. Also, so will Dawn. If that's something you use and like for cleaning purposes, it removes soap scum quite well. Um, the one you're seeing me use now, the Cambrian, is my very favorite. And I show the suds a little bit longer at the end there because I'm trying to show you how shiny they are. Like big, nice bubbles at the beginning. And this goes with any. If you get big, nice bubbles, you keep going, you're going to get those little nice tight bubbles that creates like a shaving cream, a really nice shaving cream. Um, so I think I may have already said that. I'm not sure. But um, the suds on this one feels so nice. It feels so nice on your skin. I just love the blue Cambrian clay, and boy, does it clean well. Um, Back to the staining. It's, use at your own discretion. You could certainly warn your customers if you want, put a little sticker on it or something. I feel like if somebody buys a dark colored soap, they're going to expect the suds to be a little dark. This is barely showing. It's barely a pale blue gray. Um, and that's not just the camera. It was barely there. You just barely see that. As you use it more, you might run into a little um, spot or something that contains a little bit more clay if it wasn't stirred in all the way, which can happen with clay soaps. If you've watched the series, you'll see it is quite difficult to get it all fully incorporated. And sometimes you might run into a little spot of it and get a little extra and have some darker gray suds. Again, shouldn't hurt anything. Um, and like I said, if it does, just clean your tub right away. It's not going to stain it. Um, that's just my 2 cents on it. As far as it not allowing the soap to set up, if that happens, it may be what you're using to disperse it rather than the clay itself. These clays were all super hard bars. I used way too much clay and it was just fine. With the exception of the one fix I did where the little the darker Brazilian purple that looks terracotta. If you watch the whole series, you'll see that was my most recent one. They The terracotta was started off as a really dark purple Brazilian clay, and as the pH of the soap is high, it altered the color. And I don't know if that will do that with all of them. The lavender didn't budge one bit. It was still purple. It's very pale because I didn't add enough and I was putting it into a white soap base. So, and I'll probably do something with that in clear down the road. But anyway, um, the the back of it, it settled to the bottom, and it always will settle to the bottom of the soap, and I sliced that little bit off because it was too much. It didn't incorporate well. That may have been more of the problem than actually too much clay. It wasn't incorporated as well. So, but if that happens, it's gonna sink to the bottom of your soap. You could slice or scrape or shave off the very bottom if you wanted to. It won't hurt anything. It's just going to make some darker suds. People use clays directly on their skin as face masks all the time, and it's not bad for your skin at all. Directly on your skin, it's not going to hurt anything. And if you, like I said, you store your soaps properly on a soap lift or in a soap dish, you're not going to have a problem with it staining your tub or shower. I really hope you enjoyed this quick little video. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Hopefully, you'll see me do a really cool confetti soap with these very soon. Thank you so much. Bye.